Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me today. As we know, the WWE released a number of their NXT talent yesterday, and Impact Wrestling should be getting a little excited right now because there were two guys that were released yesterday, in my opinion, that I think could be absolutely major players in Impact Wrestling, and I'm talking about Bronson Reed and Alex Zayne. I think both of those guys are extremely talented. I think both of those guys could come into Impact Wrestling and make, no pun intended, make an impact immediately. Alex Zayne, I think, would be terrific in the X Division. Bronson Reed, he definitely has what it takes to be the Impact Wrestling World Champion. I'm thinking Bronson Reed against Moose would be a great match. Bronson Reed against Josh Alexander. Bronson Reed against Eddie Edwards. Lots of great potential matchups for him in Impact Wrestling. Also, Alex Zayne, another tremendous talent. Only had 10 matches with the WWE, and they decided to release him. And they're still fairly young. I think Zayne is, 34, and Bronson Reed is 32. So they're not really that old. And I know the WWE said that they're releasing. One of the reasons were for the releases that they want to release some of the older stars because they're rebranding and they want to concentrate on the younger talent. But they're not old. They're 32 and 34. I believe Zayne is 34, but mid 30s. That's not old. That's not old. These guys are two extremely talented wrestlers, and Scott D'Amore should get very excited. Scott D'Amore should get very excited right now because Bronson Reed has the potential to be a top star in any promotion that he goes into. And Alex Zayne also, I don't need to tell people just how talented Alex Zayne is. I know he was recently the last other major promotion that he worked for before the WWE was Ring of Honor. I think he had 2 or 3 matches. But Impact Wrestling should really just consider definitely consider bringing in Bronson Reed and Alex Zayne 100%. Also, Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff is also a very talented wrestler. He's only 23 years old, I believe, 23, 24. And he's another guy that could come into the X Division and contribute just about right away. Also, a former NXT North American champion, Leon Ruff is. So there's talent out there. I mean, I know AEW, they're not going to sign everybody. I know everybody well, not everybody, most people on social media right now are saying, oh, AEW is going to scoop these guys up. AEW is bringing in Daniel Bryan. They're shelling out big money for CM Punk, for both those guys. Braun Strowman is out there. He hasn't signed with anybody. Bray Wyatt is out there. So AEW is going to be spending a lot of money. Those 4 names that I mentioned, I expect those guys to end up in AEW. So AEW is not going to be able to sign every single person that the WWE releases. So this is where Impact Wrestling needs to come in, and they need to make a splash here, especially Bronson Reed, Alex Zayne. Definitely, Impact should definitely consider bringing these guys in because they can contribute just immediately, and there's a lot of potentially great matchups. And Impact Wrestling, these are the type of guys that they want to bring in, hungry guys that want to prove that the WWE made a mistake, right? The WWE made a mistake, and they want to prove the WWE wrong. And Bronson Reed actually tweeted out, just got released from the WWE. The monster is back on the loose. You don't know what you've just done. Hashtag WWE, at AEW, at Impact Wrestling, at New Japan Pro Wrestling, and at Ring of Honor. So he's tagging those promotions. Scott D'Amore should get on the. I don't know if he could actually make the phone call yet. I know NXT releases. I believe they get 30-day non-competes for the NXT releases. So I'm sure he could make a phone call. He just can't negotiate. But get on the phone, talk to Bronson Reed. Get some guy, get Josh Alexander to give him a call or something, or Alex Zayne. I think Josh Alexander versus Alex Zayne for the X Division Championship would be a great match. Lots of potential great matches out there. I think I think, and I'm going to say that again, and I don't want to leave out Leon Ruff. I think those 3 guys would be great in Impact Wrestling. So once again, I believe Impact Wrestling. I really believe, I really think, I really hope that Impact Wrestling would consider bringing in Bronson Reed, Alex Zayne, and Leon Ruff, because those 3 guys can, like I said, contribute immediately to Impact Wrestling. And these, like I said, these are the type of guys Impact Wrestling needs. They don't necessarily need a. I know they're looking for ratings. They got the Braun Strowman and the Bray Wyatt, but let's be realistic. Impact Wrestling is not going to be able to bring those guys in. Yes, they brought the Good Brothers in, but good bet that the Good Brothers will be leaving in a couple of months when the contract is expires to go to AEW. They're spending more time on AEW than Impact Wrestling, or they're having better matches in AEW than they are in Impact Wrestling. But I'm not gonna go there now. But like I said, these are the type of guys that they're not the biggest names, but they have an incredible amount of talent, and they could come in and contribute immediately and be top stars for the promotion and really get the fans excited again. This new fresh faces, bring them into Impact Wrestling. So that's what I'm thinking, man. I think Bronson Reed, Alex Zayne, Leon Ruff would be absolutely fantastic in Impact Wrestling, and hopefully Scott D'Amore and Tommy Dreamer are definitely are hunkering down, and they're coming up with a plan to bring one, two, or all three of these guys in. Because again, I think it would be just fantastic to see them in Impact Wrestling. It's a golden opportunity for Impact Wrestling. There's a lot of free agents out there, and like as I said, AEW is not going to be able to sign everybody. New Japan Pro Wrestling might be interested. I know they're trying to get their US shows going, so they might be interested. But Impact Wrestling needs to jump in there and make a splash and bring in some of these free agents that were just released. We'll love to see it, and I'm sure the fans out there will love to see it as well, the Impact Wrestling fans. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. It's early in the day. I'm sure I'll be back later on today with some more news, maybe some more, maybe just a talk, maybe just speculate on more places where these free agents could go. But until then, I'm going to leave that for now and leave it at that for now and say thank you very much for listening again. Always appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.